In the near future, during a 12-hour period when all drinking and drug laws are abolished, 3 high school seniors must avoid their insane principal while navigating their way through the chaos of the evening to get to the ultimate party. Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Movie Files, Elliot back with an early movie review for the new Hulu comedy coming out August 28th. I'm talking about The Binge. Very excited to let you all know what I thought about it, and if you should check it out when it does come out on Hulu on the 28th of this month. Before we dive into the spoiler-free review, as you all can see on the screen now, make sure you're following me on all my other social media accounts. That way you can know what's going on here at Movie Files. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Helps out the channel, but I also really appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of that new content. But also let me know in the comments when you've seen the trailer, did you get excited for it? And when you check this movie out, let me know your pros, your cons in the comments below. So The Binge, was looking forward to it because Hulu, for me personally, guys, the year 2020 has given me some really good films, but also good comedy films when it comes to Hulu originals. I think of Big Time Adolescence. I really enjoyed that film with Pete Davidson. And then I think of most recently Palm Springs, one of my favorite films this year. So I was looking forward to see not only another Hulu original film, but also a Hulu original comedy. So, and also the cherry on top was Vince Vaughn. I don't have to give you guys his filmography. It speaks for itself. He's made some of the funniest movies in the last 20 years. So I'm a big fan of him as an actor and a comedian. So starting off with the positives, this film has some things going for it that I really enjoyed. Number one, it's that premise, right? Again, we've seen the coming of age type of film where the kids, the teenagers are 18 years old. They want to go out to the party. They want to go to prom. They want to ask the person out to prom. They want to get drunk. They want to have sex. We've seen this a million times, but I like this new spin on it, right? That you have this binge, which is essentially for horror fans out there, it's like The Purge, right? Where it's like the alcohol, drugs have been abolished. You can't drink, you can't smoke for the entire year except for one day out of the year. So as long as you're 18 or older, you can drink, you can smoke, you can sniff as much cocaine as you so desire as long as you're 18. So I love kind of that idea, and I love when the film kind of plays to that idea where there are some people that cannot wait to turn 18 to go out to have parties, get drunk, to get high. And then you have the other side of the fence, the parents that are more protective of their kids, like Vince Vaughn's character as the principal, who don't want their kids to go out and indulge in this binge night. So I love the kind of idea of the premise. Again, we've seen this type of kids want to go out. They're seniors. They want to have fun. They want to ask the girl to prom. We've seen that, but then you throw in this nice little wrench to the equation with it being this binge. I like that idea and that premise. Then the second thing this film really kind of had going for it was Vince Vaughn. Like I said, guys, whether it be Wedding Crashers, whether it be, The Breakup, whether it be Old School, whether it be Dodgeball. I mean, this guy has made some of the best comedies, in my opinion, in the last 20 years. So everything Vince Vaughn had to do in this film, he was giving me some good laughs. Last 5 or 7 years, some of those films we've seen him in hasn't been that great. But I can tell that Vince Vaughn was having fun in this role because it kind of reminded me of the old school Vince Vaughn, right, from Wedding Crashers or some of those films I just mentioned. So I love him being the principal of the school, and like the first 10 to 15 minutes, you kind of see how he is as a principal, which I thought was hilarious. And seeing him as a father who's being overprotective of his daughter, and him looking for his daughter of the night of the binge, and him interacting with other parents and the escapades going on with the other parents who wants to really take advantage of the binge night, and then him interacting with the teenagers who are drunk, who are high, and he's trying to get information out of them. So I thought Vince Vaughn was great. And then once you get the reveal of Vince Vaughn's past as the principal, it makes things even fun. So I really enjoy what we get from that character. So besides those two things, The Binge was just not a film that I really enjoyed. I think there's so many things that I didn't like about this film. Just from a direction level, I thought the direction was kind of inconsistent. I thought the tone, it was very generic. Again, we've seen this movie before a million times. But what makes films like, I think, some more my favorite comedies of coming of age films that deal with this kind of one night to fall in love and get drunk and get high, to have sex, to lose their virginity. I think of Superbad, my favorite comedy of all time. And I think of recently Booksmart. The things that separates those films that have the generic, stereotypical type of teen nights is the characters, right? Michael, Sarah, and Jonah Hill, Betty Fieldstein and Caitlin Devers. You believe they were friends. You believe that they grew up together, and then you believe when they have all these films have the inevitable fight between the friends. You can feel that friendship. You can feel them wanting to have fun. It's just the characters makes those films more richer, more entertaining. It makes you have a good time. Unfortunately, this cast for me are 3 main leads: Skyler Gisondo, Eduardo Franco, Dexter Darden, as our three main characters that are, you have Dexter's character and you have, Skyler's character. They're the best friends. And then Eduardo is just kind of the third wheel. They just didn't work for me. Their chemistry, I didn't feel like they were friends, our two main leads. I didn't really, I've seen them in other films. I've seen, I've seen Skyler in other movies and shows. I think of, Santa Clarita Diet, and seeing him in other films like Booksmart. He's a good secondary character. I think of Dexter's character in the Maze Runner films. He's a good secondary actor, but when you put them as the leads of the film, they just didn't carry the movie for me, and I did not find them funny at all. Outside the first 15, 20 minutes of the film, everything else they were doing was just dull. It was just wooden. Again, comedy's so subjective, but I found the comedy in this film to be so generic, so recycled comedy. It didn't work for me on a lot of levels, and it really boils down to those three friends. You don't feel the friendship, you don't feel the chemistry, and the jokes did not land for me personally. The comedy in this movie, again, besides it being, recycled comedy, you've heard the jokes before, they just did shock value just to do shock value. There's a scene with a cow, and you was just you knew that was coming. They're just being grotesque. They're being, the cursing. All it's just, to me, it's just unoriginal, and it was just very dull and very generic in my personal opinion when it comes to the comedy and some of the stuff that they were trying to get you to be like, oh no, they're gonna, put a donut on an alligator's mouth. It was just a lot of stuff to me. It was just, whether it be the Legend Gauntlet, there's a 10-minute singing musical piece in this film, which I thought could have been cool, could have been funny, very similar to Booksmart when you have our main characters turn into Barbie dolls. That was fun because you're having a fun time. But when you see it in this film, it's just it comes out of left field, and it's just this is just boring to me, and it's just unoriginal and not funny. So again, I can go on and on and on about the lack of the secondary characters and the lack of, like I said, that bondship, that friendship. But also it just boils down to, I wish that this film would have took another spin on it. I think of Blockers, for example. If Vince Vaughn and he was attached to some other maybe comedians that were parents looking for their kids, that they don't want them to make the same mistakes that they did when they were younger, when they had the purge day, that would have been more interesting to me personally. Because again, the kids in this film, the teenagers that are 30 years old, who, again, we can talk about that in another video, but they just didn't do it for me. I felt like there was a lot of miscasting for the main cast and a lot of our supporting characters. But again, if there are any positives, I'm going to wrap this review up. It's Vince Vaughn, it's the premise, but everything else to me was just kind of fell flat for me personally. But I know there's going to be people that's going to love this film, that's going to have a good time with it, it's going to get some good laughs, going to like the characters. But for me, all that stuff did not work. So with that being said, I'm giving The Binge a 2 out of 5. Check it out because, again, the premise is cool. I love Vince Vaughn, so I always support his films. And then, again, you may find this to be hilarious. This might be the funniest movie you've seen in decades. So give it a watch just for that premise that it is a comedy and subjective is very interesting. But for my sensibilities, a lot of the comedy fell completely flat. And the acting and the chemistry and the trio that we're following throughout this film just didn't work for me personally. So 2 out of 5 for The Binge. But once you all see it on August 28th, let me know what you thought about the film. Did you find it funny? Did you like the premise? Did you like the characters? Let me know some of your criticisms as well in the comments below. So as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new content. Give this video a thumbs up. Check out the content that's currently on my channel now. Thank you all for watching this review. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.